Chapter 1242. The two of them were incredibly amazing people that Warner could never dare to show off in front of. Looking at Warner greeting them politely and May trying to look her best, Farron completely ignored them. Faye politely greeted them, saying, "Mr. Warner, I came here to receive someone." Warner smiled and said, "I wonder who's that impressive for Miss Eve and Mr. Campbell to personally receive him. He must be amazing." Faye returned a smile and said, "It's him, Miss Penn, the owner of Cape Consortium." She then looked at Wilbur meaningfully. Warner suddenly froze from shock. After a moment, he slowly turned around, looking at Wilbur with complete disbelief in his eyes. Faye walked over and held Wilbur's arm, saying, "How did the things go in Magic City?" "It went quite well, and it was quite a rewarding trip," Wilbur smiled and said. Farron walked over and offered Wilbur a cigarette, saying, "Boss, remember to bring me with you next time you go out and have fun." "Did you think I was there for fun?" Wilbur said. Farron merely smiled and said nothing. Faye smiled and said, "This guy insisted on coming with me when he heard that I was coming to get you." "Don't you have anything better to do?" Wilbur said to Farron. Farron shrugged and said, "I'm actually very free nowadays." "Why is that?" Wilbur said. Farron forced a smile and replied, "I resigned, so I have nothing to do right now." "You resigned?" Wilbur could not believe his ears. Someone with such a bright future ahead had just resigned. What was he even thinking? Farron said, "It's nothing. I was just too tired. I feel like things are quite nice nowadays." Wilbur thought about it and said, "Let's talk about it when we get back. I have something else to deal with right now." As he said that, Wilbur walked over to Warner and May. This time, the two of them were scared out of their wits. They stood there trembling uncontrollably, too weak to even walk. May was someone who had some knowledge of the world. The CEO of Cape Consortium and the Prince of Carden Province were right in front of them. Before them, Warner was just a nobody. The two of them were that important. One of them had her arms around Wilbur's, obviously trying to flirt with him. The other one just called him boss, and even offered him a cigarette. It was almost impossible to find someone worthy of having someone like Farron ingratiate himself to Wilbur like that. Warner and May could not begin to imagine what kind of power Wilbur held. All else aside, just him being the owner of Cape Consortium was already horrifying enough. However, it seemed like things were not that simple, because there was no way Farron would just ingratiate himself to a person no matter how amazing a businessman he was. Looking at the two of them panicking, Wilbur said coldly, "Weren't you going to teach me a lesson? I'm waiting." "I'm so sorry. Please forgive me." Warner was on the verge of tears. May lost all her arrogance at that moment, kneeling down in front of Wilbur as she said, "Sir, I'm so sorry. Please forgive us." Faye and Farron walked over at that moment. Farron frowned and said, "Boss, what's going on?" "Those two were causing me trouble the whole flight. Not only did they spill coffee on me, but they also said they would teach me a lesson once I got off the plane. I'm just waiting for that," Wilbur said calmly.